Hello. All right. First one to email on the LinkedIn that I'm posting this in to tell me who I'm talking with. The first one gets a prize. So that's the first thing. Who am I talking with? I'll introduce them, of course, but I want to talk for a moment because this man and woman are very special to me. And now I will introduce them. I don't have the drum roll, but everyone do that. That's so silly. Okay, don't do that.
It works. It works.
Okay. Well, most of you in the franchise industry will recognize Mary Kay Liston and Mark Liston. They are, I want to say, a power couple. They would deny it, but they're amazing people, and those that are watching this know. So they've been retired for Mary Kay, what?
2 years.
2 years retired. So
2 blissful years.
and
Right.
you love it. All right. Mary Kay, do your elevator speech and share with everybody exactly how you started with Mark. And you don't have to go into all the details, but I know you worked together in Waco.
Well, actually, before that,
Oh, there
my
we go.
career started in television, and I was in television for 25 years.
Right.
And then when it came time to get out of that, I discovered a company called Valpak, the blue envelopes with the coupons.
Right.
And I was living in Los Angeles at the time. I had been vice president at Comcast LA and got out of the TV biz, but I joined Valpak to run Valpak Los Angeles. And I didn't know at the time that it was a franchise company. Discovered it very quickly, however, when I began interacting with other franchise owners across the country. About 3 months into my job, I got a phone call from somebody at headquarters in Tampa, Florida, St. Pete, actually. And he said, "Hey, we're doing a new franchise owner training. Do you want to come?" And I really didn't know what I was doing in my job. I'd never worked in print. So I said, "Yes, I'd love to come. When is it?" He said, "Wednesday." I said, "I'll be there." Well, it turns out it was this guy.
That's who
Yep.
called you?
Yes.
Who called me. He was in charge of new franchise owner training. So I went to Florida that week and sat through a week of training, and we clicked as colleagues, as friends.
And that was it.
And he became my go-to guy if I had any stupid questions that I didn't want to let anybody know I didn't know what I was talking about. So I would call Mark and bounce things off of him. And we just became great, supportive friends. And 2 years later, I was in town for a training, and I walked into my hotel after the training, and there sat Joe Bordeaux, who was the president of Valpak at the time, with Mark and a couple of Canadian franchisees. And Joe said, "Hey, Mary Kay, come here, come here." So I went over, and he says, "Hey, you want to go out to dinner with us?" Sure. So I went out to dinner with them. And when we got back to the hotel, Mark and I went to the bar to have a drink, and we started talking about personal stuff and discovered that our personal situations had changed. And we were both now available.
Mhm.
And since that day, we have been inseparable. We did it for 2 years between LA and Tampa. And
Wow.
then they blessedly created a job for me at headquarters and moved me to Tampa. And that's when we got married. And
You were married in Tampa.
we were married
Right.
in Tampa.
I was not aware of that. I mean, I don't know everything. I want to say you're close personal friends, and you are, but you have so many close personal friends, and that story is I'm betting somebody's going to say, "Wow, I didn't know that." So,
Probably.
Mark,
It was-
you were at Valpak when I think I met you. No,
Right.
no. I knew about you from Valpak, but
Right. Oh, yeah. I think, well, I'd probably talk to you on the phone, Nance, because we were using your services at that point.
I believe so. Yeah, not on person, but I think anyway, bottom line. So you two got married in Tampa,
Mhm.
in Tampa.
Yes.
Yes.
Mark, pick it up from there and tell what happened after you got married. Big wedding, little wedding?
Valpak
A
wedding.
Valpak wedding. So, I mean, that's what
Give
it
everybody coupons?
that's really what it was. We had franchisees there. We had her employees there, my employees. We had Joe Bordeaux there. We had executives there, and we had so much fun. But the interesting thing was the first couple of years, Nance, that we knew each other, there was nothing.
Not nothing.
Well, no,
Meaning-
respect.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, fight on camera. I love that. I
No
love it.
hanky
Okay.
panky.
No hanky panky, nothing like,
Oh, it just,
oh, I'd really
okay.
like to, no,
Yeah.
none of that. But there was a couple years later when all of a sudden our lives had changed. I looked at her and said, I missed that for the first couple of years.
Amazing.
And like she said, after that it was just amazing.
Well, go ahead.
And so life changed for us. At one point then Valpak was going to sell. They're part of the Cox
They were part of Cox Communications.
newspapers.
Cox-
Newspapers. And there came to be a point where Cox was going to sell all their newspaper divisions, all their newspapers except for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And we were part of that group they were going to sell off.
Ah,
Our plant was only built a year before. It was a
State-of-the-art.
world-class structure. And all of a sudden they're going to sell it. So like, oh no. And they made some huge personal changes inside about a week before. Oh yeah.
eh,
About a week
Ouchie
before
mama.
Christmas.
Yeah.
About a week before Christmas, Mary Kay got cut. She was downsized. And like, what the heck? I mean, we would have bet our house. We would have retired there, stayed there, loved it there. But that's not what God had in mind. So she left. And, it's one of those things, Nance, when you talk to people, there's a time when people quit and there's a time when people leave.
right.
In fact, I just written a blog on that today. I'll send it to you.
Good for you. What's
And
about the
I wrote a
blog?
blog on that today, so people understand that just because they leave on Friday, it doesn't mean they quit on Friday. They could have quit a year ago. Or in our case, I was waiting for the next job that'd be good. And the next job was in Sarasota. I won't mention the company. It's a franchise company. And we thought, oh, what a blessing, Lord. Thank you so much. I went to work there as a VP. Mary Kay went to work there as a VP, had a training. We thought, this is amazing. It turned out to be the worst job of my life.
Wow, we gotta have one of those. Sadly, you gotta have one of those to appreciate the,
That's right.
Yeah, and it was because the management, senior management, who they sold, they're no longer there. And I think they're a pretty good company now. But then I went to work for, what were we in, Dwyer Group. And
Dwyer's what I wanted to get to, yeah.
if you've ever met Dina Dwyer Owens, you're in love with Dina Dwyer Owens. And
I
there's
hear
no
so
one,
much about her. She is one of the big names that I've never had the opportunity to face with. And I respect her so much. But I know you had such a great relationship, very special at Dwyer with her. And what did you do and I know what you did, but tell people what you did at Dwyer.
I went in as VP of operations for Glass Doctor. And about a year and a half later, I was the president of Glass Doctor.
Amazing.
So I was president in December 11. Now, Mary Kay worked there before me, though.
Right. I was working remotely for Mr. Electric
Yep.
until Mark accepted a job at this other company that was a competing home services franchisor. And I called the president of Mr. Electric and I said, we may have to plan my exit because Mark's going to work at this other company. He goes, yeah, you're right, we're done.
And you were married at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so then eventually I ended up going to work there. It was also a horrible place I discovered, but we both worked there about 6 months, and then Dwyer Group came knocking, and eventually we both ended up at the Dwyer Group. I restarted again as vice president of Mr. Appliance, the appliance repair brand,
I remember that.
and then through time worked for a couple of other concepts as president. So it was a great run. It was a great 10-year run.
It was wonderful.
Your whole stories are so interesting to me. And there's a part, and excuse me, it just flew out of my head. What the heck was it?
Well, it's the ups and downs. Like you think this is your best day ever, and then tomorrow's your worst day ever. But the next day's your best day ever.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it really wasn't my best day ever.
Well, I believe that your strength in the good Lord and the power between you has just pushed you into a beautiful relationship. So, and then Mary Kay, and if I can bring it fast forward, Dwyer was glass doctor, and you stayed there quite a while. Glass doctor was your home.
Yeah, right. Well, Waco, and there was 8 brands there when we started. I think there's about 25 brands.
Amazing, yeah, amazing, just amazing. I
And
kept
now it's all
on the Salesforce, I would tell my sales team, okay, it's not Dwyer anymore, it's something else. Oh, it's not that
Neighborly.
anymore, now it's Neighborly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But they've got us a success pattern. It just, I don't want this to be about me, but a friend of mine said, why are you using such an old name, Telephone Doctor? Well, that brand has stuck in people's mind. So I didn't want to change the name, but you see companies changing
It's risky.
names. I'm interested as to the mental process of how, even going from Dwyer, then I forget the second one, but the third one and the fourth one, why they change names so often, franchise or brands.
It really came down to what's a brand that's going to be consumer centric.
Right.
Because when Don started the company, his companies were known by their brand. It wasn't like today Marriott, where Marriott owns 17 different properties.
Right.
It was Marriott. And as time has gone on, the marketing has changed. And so you're taking on other brands, but they're under the Marriott umbrella.
Right.
That's exactly what happened with us, is that people knew us as Glass Doctor, but they didn't know Glass Doctor was a sister company of Mr. Appliance.
Oh,
So the whole
absolutely
world-
right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and this was all born from CEO Mike Bidwell's dream that franchise owners would share leads with one another, and that consumers would understand that I had a good experience with Glass Doctor, so now I'm going to go over to Molly Maid
Right.
and have a great experience there because they're sister companies. So the real reason that we changed from Dwyer Group to Neighborly was so that we could start to knit it together in the consumer's brains that
I did
this
not
is-
know that it makes
Right,
such,
yeah.
it makes such sense though. It makes such
Well,
sense.
it's brilliant. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. And Dina was real supportive of that. I thought, ooh, I said, Mary Kay, this is Dina's name. And she says, my daughter just got married. And when she got married, she took a new name. It doesn't mean it's not my daughter. It doesn't change anything whatsoever. It simply means same person, same identity, same everything, new last name.
but it
Well,
links her.
And you nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it by saying it was brilliant because what they wanted to have happen happened.
Yep.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it went well. It went well. So now you're both retired and you're living part-time in the Midwest and part-time in Florida.
Right.
And
By kids.
Pardon?
It's all about kids now. So,
Oh,
you know, we worked so many years, and one day we were 3 hours and 9 minutes away from son, daughter-in-law, and a couple of grandsons. And they're our buddies. I mean, they play sports and we go watch them and everything.
that's
And we came
great.
back one time, Mary Kay said, why do we live here in Michigan? Because
It was when we retired.
yeah, but you were running Molly Maid in Michigan. That was the corporate headquarters. So we had
Oh,
to
I
move
wanted to speak there again. I spoke there once and I wanted to speak there again.
to
This
Michigan.
didn't happen, but
Well, it's now based in Dallas.
Well,
so
but,
there
yeah.
you
oh my
go.
gosh, I can't keep track anymore.
I know.
So I said, well, we got great neighbors, but you know, anything else? Got great neighbors and
It's only 3 hours away from the kids. And I said, well, why don't we get just a little bit closer? And so that's why we chose to move to Ohio from Michigan.
Yeah.
And then our daughter
In
is
Grand
in,
Rapids, am I right? Not Grand Rapids,
no,
Ann
Ann
Arbor.
Arbor.
Ann Arbor, yeah.
yeah, and our daughter's in Florida. So we elected to move there to be by her and her family. So we get to spend a lot of time with all the kids and their children.
it's wonderful.
Oh, I'm
It's
so happy for you. And I know that
Thank
people are listening, you know, they people wonder when people retire, where are they? What are they doing? So I wanted to bring you on to let your friends, I mean, I know you write on LinkedIn and you do your blogs are brilliant. They're just
Thank you.
fabulous. And if you haven't read any of Mark's, are they still on LinkedIn?
No, Martin, no. Mary Kay's great on LinkedIn. I'm not
Why, but, oh,
They're in his
Facebook,
signature.
in my
Pardon?
signature. Mark Liston 13 at Gmail. and I'll send you a reply, and the blogs are there.
Blogs are in his signature. So,
Oh, right. Okay, so one more time on that email, because I had a guy in today and he was leaving a phone number. Okay, I'll call you back at 613-4679. I said, repeat it slowly.
This is easy.
he's been to your training.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
he didn't. He hadn't been
Didn't
to
go
the
to training. He
training.
has to go to
What
training.
But
was
he
the number?
repeated it. He repeated it slowly.
I made him. I told him to.
Oh, you told him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I said, stop. I said, the guy's not gonna know the number. Just stay and just say it slowly. So you said your email too fast.
Mark.
Mark
Yeah, Liston 13 @gmail.
his lucky number is 13.
Because everybody hates 13 except for me. I love 13. You gotta be different.
Why do you like 13?
Born on the 13th, I guess. And everybody thinks it's a bad number, unlucky the 13. I'm kind of a guy that whatever else everybody wants, I don't. I've always been that way.
You're your own man. I saw that from the very beginning. Mary Kay, you are a very lucky woman, but by the same token, if I may add, Mr. Liston. Dang it, I'm not cutting anything either. That stays in there.
Good, that's.
Yeah, well, and when you passed through St. Louis, you honored us with dinner. You did something so smart at dinner. I need to share that with it, because I tell Dick, let's do what Mary Kay and Mark do. And what they do is they decide what they're gonna order. I love a steak. And I said, what do you mean we'll have a steak? You each gonna have a steak? No. She picks, I split it, cut it in half, and is that not brilliant?
Yeah.
We're old.
No,
you can't eat as much as you were before.
that's
And-
true.
And it's great. We've done that now for several years.
Dick is so stingy with his food. I mean, what do you mean split it? What do you mean, get your own steak? Okay, what can you tell the people that and I know you're in touch with some, but people say, oh, wow, Mary Kay, who can you tell us? And I know you've got a wonderful family life, the kids, you had a little downside, and my heart goes out to you. We don't need to talk
Thank you.
about that, but what bright side can you share that's coming up? I know they want to hear about it.
Good.
Well, we've been.
You're not pregnant, are you?
Oh, golly, no.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, we've actually just yesterday, we met with an emerging franchisor nearby and working with him and his team on trying to help them get up and running. And so,
Wonderful.
yes, and so we're looking for those opportunities. We're still very engaged in the franchising world. In fact, we will be at the International Franchise Association convention
In
coming up.
February.
We're
Right,
teaching a class for the Certified Franchise Executives course.
Terrific.
1 or 2 or 3. We aren't
Yeah,
sure
we're
how
not
much.
sure. We're gonna be present. We'll be very present at the class.
I hope I can get there. I've been sidelined from crowds. From
Okay.
my little issue, but
Yeah,
I need
I don't
to,
blame you.
I'm not gonna even talk about it. I get, what is it, what do they call it, FOMO, fear of missing out?
Yeah,
So you
Uh,
will
so-
be at IFA, so everybody,
Well,
if you're going to IFA, my very dear friends and your friends too, I'm sure Mark and Mary Kay Liston will be at IFA doing a session on the certified
Right.
franchise
CFE.
executive.
Mhm.
Right, I probably should have done that years ago and I never did, but it's just, time ran out, so.
It's incredibly valuable, especially if somebody wants to forge a relationship or forge a relationship in franchising.
Yeah, I have,
It's like a in franchising.
It sure is.
it's like what the blurb to.
Masters.
Okay, yeah. I have shared with people who they all knew about it. I said, if you can do it, because it's just it's an entrance. It's like a hall pass.
Mhm.
You're walking
Well-
down, you get in free.
Besides the classes and what you learn, the people you learn with. Good example, I got my CFE in 2005. Some of the people I went to classes with in 2005 are very good friends today
Sure.
because I sat with them in a class 17 years ago. And I think Joe Bordeaux codified what IFA is more than anybody else. He said it's the world's largest Rotary Club.
Mhm.
Because
World's
the
largest-
Rotary Club,
I'm sorry, I missed that. The world's largest.
Rotary Club.
Yo, lordy. Does that,
Because in a Rotary Club,
does
you
that
meet,
nail it?
Yeah.
yeah, you meet so many different people. And as Joe said that, I thought, it is, that's really what it is, because we look forward to going every year because there's our friends. Hey, how you been?
You know,
And
the other thing,
conversation you can pick up right from where you
Oh,
left off
yeah.
last year.
Exactly,
Nothing.
exactly.
I'm
but
so
the other
glad you'll
thing-
be there. I am so
the other
glad.
thing,
Go ahead.
the other thing that's very selfishly valuable is I've done a lot of recruiting at the IFA convention. Found some great employees there. So you get a chance to interact with professionals, franchise professionals, and snag some really good talent.
Wow.
In fact, Mary Kay's the president now of Five Star Painting was found at IFA by another one of our brand presidents.
Mark,
Sitting in the classes, yeah.
I'm so proud of you two. I really am. I'm so glad you came on. I could talk forever, but I do want the people that are watching, reach out to Mark and Mary Kay. I mean, they're not lonesome by any means. They have friends, they have grandchildren, but talk about a franchise family. You're not the grandparents, but you know, you're good people to know. And I thank you for spending a little time. I usually ask silly questions, so I'm going to ask a couple silly questions.
Good.
All right. Mark, I'm gonna ask you first because I started with Mary Kay. What is your favorite color?
Red.
Red, okay. And the favorite movie?
Oh, it's a baseball movie, maybe The Natural.
Wow.
Or what's the other one? Field of Dreams. They both
Field
make
of
me
Dreams.
cry every time. I can watch it 10 times a day. I'd cry 10 times.
Wow. Wow. And your favorite color is red, favorite movie star? Man or woman?
Boy.
Sorry, your time's up.
Thank you.
Mary Kay, favorite color?
Blue.
Yeah, that's stunning on you, just stunning.
Thank you.
Favorite color, favorite movie?
I had Mark sit down and watch Annie Hall the other day.
Oh, wow, is that an oldie but goodie?
It is. I just love it. I could watch it over and over again. And now he hears where a lot of my references come from. We can walk to the curb from here. I love you. All that kind of stuff came from
Right.
Annie.
Right.
So that's it.
I can't think of, somebody used and I love a few good men that, what does that say?
Can't handle the truth.
You can't, yeah, I couldn't, I thought of it yesterday. Dick was arguing with me and I said, you just can't handle this. All right, and do you have a favorite movie star?
I like Liam Neeson.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah,
first.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
I don't
awesome.
know if you've seen the wonderful HBO series about Paul Newman and Joan Woodward. If you
No.
it can catch, I just bought his book, which is separate from it's an HBO on the two of them. And Dick's not a TV watcher, but he really enjoyed learning more about Paul Newman, who basically, and I don't know if you've ever seen him on an interview. I mean, was a fabulous actor. But I've watched him on interviews where he sat down, not with Johnny Carson, but you know, some of those people. And Dick has always told me some of these actors always need a script. They cannot speak spontaneously. I mean, you and I with no script, you didn't know what I was going to ask him. I saw him and not answer the simplest questions. And you would have thought if somebody was asking an Einstein question, but they're not quick on the very few, the comedians are.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick on their feet, but very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
We
I-
actually saw him at the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Right.
The Long Beach Grand Prix used to run right beneath our building when we had a place in Long Beach, and he was a car owner. And so one year we went through the pits and son of a gun, there he was, a bona fide movie star right
Okay,
there.
that's Paul Newman. And there's
David
David
Letterman.
Letterman.
David Letterman. It is fun to find those people doing normal things, if you will.
Yeah.
Right, right,
But
right.
the book that he just wrote is going into their personal lives. And she's still
Wow.
living. She's still living. Anyway,
That's pretty cool they're married that long, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. But
An inspiration.
they had their issues, trust me. They had their issues. I could talk to you all night long. When you come to St. Louis, you know you've got dinner, lunch, whatever, room at the inn.
Thank you.
We look forward
Thank you
to
for
it.
joining me. It was so much fun for me to get the recap of your life. And ladies and gentlemen, Mark and Mary Kay Liston, I won't say that they're the grandparents of the, you know, who, Jerry,
Oh, Rosenberg? No.
no,
Seinfeld? No,
franchise Jerry, the mayor of franchising.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't think, oh, that's terrible.
Durnell?
Passed away a year or so ago. I know
Jerry
Jerry-
Durnell.
Jerry Durnell.
Darnell.
Yeah,
Forgive
he was
me,
great.
forgive me, Bonnie, for Bonnie's wife probably watching. I finally decided I have too many compartments. Sometimes they go visiting each other and I get so mixed up.
Oh, it's happening to us too, Nancy.
Well, that's just because you're busy and good. God bless you both.
God
Thank
bless you.
for joining me. Have a good time. This was just so fun for me to learn more
Thank you.
about you. So Mary
Thanks,
Kay.
Nance.
Mark
Thanks, Nance.
Liston,
We love
God
you.
bless.
Love you.
We
Appreciate
love
you.
you. Stay
All
well.
right.
That's the
All
most
right.
important. Stay well.
All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
thank you, we're blessed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, see you later.